Welcome back to another segment of Manifest with SII Power. Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. Before I jump into the content, um, the three ways that I do coach are email coaching, right? Lost train of thought, but email coaching, conference call coaching, and then video coaching individually, and also have between 2 to 4 groups uh, per year. All right, so this is going to be a real video that on some level, every person that this video comes into the feed can relate to, right? It's going to be about money, but it's going to be about more than money, because your problem with money, if you're struggling, is not just money. It's deeper. Money is a symptom. Okay. So speaking of the coaching, primarily I've worked with entrepreneurs and corporate associates. The ratio has been about, I would say 90% to 10% or 95% to 5%. It seems that women want to work with me the most, but the information that I'm giving can help men and women. And what I say is find a coach or a consultant that resonates with you, one that you will let keep you accountable, and one that you will allow to correct you. Because like if you've been struggling with money or struggling in your relationships or struggling with your career for an extended period of time, if it's been more than 2 years, it's more than likely something that you won't be able to bring yourself out of it just by yourself. That means that you're going to need some assistance, somebody outside of your frame to show you your blind spots or whatnot. So in my long form videos like this, I put my email address. You can reach out to me by coaching. Due to my schedule now, I'm not able to just jump on random calls with people that are not serious. So I like, people that are serious to ask me a couple questions so I can kind of gauge where you're at. If you're a novice, I highly recommend email coaching because, whether I coach you on conference call, Zoom, or by email, you got to do the work and you're responsible for your results. And I can guarantee you that if you don't do the inner work and apply the information, you're not going to get the results. You're just going to keep on being in the same failure loop, failure cycle. So anyone that's telling you that you don't got to take action, they're deceiving you, right? Action is how you bring it out of the invisible into the visible, right? So it all works hand in hand. So now I'm going to dive into this. And I want to give some examples that everybody can relate to. If you're struggling with money, right, you've been looked over for promotions, or you're working a job where the ends just don't meet, or you got to work 2 jobs, you're already putting yourself in a compromising position, right? Because you're compulsively under earning. You're already kicking up anxiety and stress and putting yourself in flight or fight mode, survival mode. And that's just unhealthy because you can only go on that so long. You know about the two nervous systems, right? Sympathetic and parasympathetic. So this is why I want to give you examples so that you can check the boxes and see if you need help. And for the most part, I know that you need help, but you need to know what you need help with, because this money thing has a lot of stigma and it's kind of a compound complex problem, but it's really a simple thing. And I say simple thing, but it's not easy. So I want to give you an example. We make big shifts, but there's gaps of time in between. Everyone remembers when they got their first apartment, right? And then the lease ended. And there were things that you discovered that you didn't like about the apartments, whether it was the group of people, the smallness of it, the cars in your building, so on and so forth. So there's something in you, desire, crying out for more. So you want a bigger apartment. You want to be in a better location. You want to be around a higher quality people, right? Higher quality in, how they conduct themselves, how they dress, what they drive, where they work, etc. And these are just examples. So what had to happen, right? You had to finish up that lease, right? You had to locate another apartment or condo or townhome, right? Do negotiations and get approved credit checks, whatnot, and sign a new lease. What else had to happen, right? That was the mental part, right? Signing the contract, right? The physical part was you had to clean out the old apartment, um, do a ending checklist on what's wrong, what was wrong when you moved in. Uh, if there's any problems now, you had to turn that into the office, right? And if things went favorably for you, you got a return deposit, right? And so then you had to make a new deposit on a new apartment, new townhome, new condo, and you had to pay the first month's rent. Okay. So you cleaned out that apartment, the old apartment, right? And you moved all your stuff, your things into the new apartment, and now you're living at a new location. This is sort of like shifting identities and the law of assumption, right? So assumption is just like walking out of your bedroom into a new room or new state, your restroom. Just follow me and hang in there. So we make these shifts, but there's usually gaps of times or lapses in between. And we think that these things are hard, but they're really not hard. And it just takes making a decision and just seeing it through. All right. Another example of this is maybe you had a starter car, you came out of college and you decided to reward yourself with a newer model car, better car, right? Where the air conditioner works, you got some of the things you want, all the things you want, right? What has to happen? I take the old car up there, they evaluate it, and they say, oh, we're going to do a trade-in. We're going to give you X amount of dollars, right? And we're going to apply that towards the new car plus your down payment. So what has to happen? You have to take all of your belongings out of the old car and put them into the new car, okay? So you went from the old to the new. Just like you went from the old apartment to the new apartment, you're going from an older car to a newer car. So we make these shifts, but usually there's time, linear time or lapses or gaps in between we making these decisions. So the decision to change your life for the better, to get off the struggle bus, to get out of Grumble Alley, get off Barely Get Along Street, get out of the neighborhood called Poorsville, and get off the struggling bus is possible for you. Always have been possible for you. Is possible for you now. It just takes a decision. So now we're going to go into this money thing. Many people that struggle with money where they just feel like they can't get enough, that comes from them not believing that they're not enough, that they're not good enough, that they're not deserving, that they're not worthy. But let me tell you, you're an inherently worthy and deserving of the absolute best in everything that life has to offer. And you have it now. You just have to figure out how to express it. So with that being said, when you are struggling with money, it comes back from your childhood, right? We know epigenetics, right? From the last trimester of your mother's pregnancy to age 7, right? It's going to be in that time frame, that linear time frame, or it's going to be what you saw. There's going to be some intense experiences, like, direct experiences that you had between the age of 4 and 8, what you saw with money, and then how you labeled it and the story that you put behind it. So a lot of people, especially like in the African American community, I'm just giving an example, they see arguments over money. They see fights over money. They see breakups over money. And they see divorce over money. So they automatically label money as bad, money as wrong, money as dangerous, right? Money as evil. Then all the sayings that you hear growing up, like money doesn't grow on trees. You can have everything but the money. Leave the money alone, child. Money burns holes in your pockets. You're supposed to be humble, not materialistic. There's all these type of sayings, and there's a lot of them. A lot of these little stories or narratives. And I'm just going to say these 4 or 5 or whatever I've said to show you that it's not just about money, but it's how you see money. It's about understanding that you have a relationship with money, just like you have a relationship with everything, right? How you see yourself according to the topic or subject of money, how you see others, how you see the world. All of this plays a part. And so your beliefs, right? Your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about money, your beliefs about your caretakers, all of this is coming into play. And so if you're perceiving money as evil, money as wrong, money as sin, money as bad, and money as dangerous, then you're going to have an unideal, unhealthy relationship with money. And you're going to have these experiences where the money does come in slow and go out fast. It's going to seem like you just don't have enough. The money comes in and you're able to pay most of your bills. And then now you're under pressure because the electric might get cut off, or you're getting notices about being late on your rent, or you don't know how you're going to pay your car payment. You're scared to look at bills. You're scared to look at your bank account. You know your bank accounts are in NSF, right? Charges. So all of this is going on in your internal world, and it's total chaos. It's total discombobulation. It's confusion. And you basically are in fight and flight mode, survival mode, and you're thinking like, man, there is no way possible for this to change. And so you basically throw your hands in the air. You think that nothing can be done about that. But what is really going on is you're not taking radical ownership, and you're continuing to use your power against yourself to create more of the same. High levels of anxiety, high levels of desperation and neediness. And all of this is basically becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Kind of like when something smells and you try to put something on it, a Band-Aid on it, then the smell gets worse and worse and worse. Well, what you're going to have to realize is that you got to take control of what's going on inside of you. Because, right, law of correspondence, as within, so without. As without, so within. You do have control, but you got to bring clarity and peace to your inner world so that you can receive clarity and peace in your outer world. Like I say, it's not just about money. It's about the cause of your money symptoms. The cause of your money symptoms is your identity, your stories, your definitions, and the meanings that you've previously assigned to events, right? And then your mindset, your beliefs, and your emotional regulation. Your nervous system not being regulated is deeply, deeply, deeply impacting and affecting you. And until this is brought under control, you're going to continue to get more of the same. Because remember, the subconscious doesn't understand sentences or words. It understands feelings. And basically, it's just going to continue to replicate and prove you to be right based on what you have going on internally. This is how it works. I know you don't want to hear this, but your money problem, your money issue, your money trauma is not just money. It's real life, intense experiences. And until you go back and revise these, relive these, and process those emotions that are stuck in your body, nothing will not change. You can mark my words on this, right? Until you bring things under control and get clarity and begin to move different, right? Begin to trust yourself and begin to do the inner work. These things cannot change. It's impossible for it to happen. If this information resonates with you, reach out to me by email. My email address is in the long form videos. I challenge you to this because I can effortlessly put you on a game plan where you can adjust this and begin to receive better outcomes and better harvests around the topic subject of money or relationships, because the same patterns are running in both, right? Summary, it comes from experiences between the ages of 4 and 8, what you witnessed, and you have to have somebody help you sort through this and begin to work through this so that you can have a course change. You can have identity change, identity shift, right? So that you can receive better results and begin to live the quality of life that you truly deserve. Thank you for tuning in to Manifest with SII Power.